Fighters.
Anambra State Police Command, just like any other command, has its unique feature. Unique in the sense that the state has produced a lot of prominent people, both in terms of politicians and those in business. They have a lot of prominent sons and daughters that are great politicians in this country, those that are great businessmen in this country. And because of that status they have attained in the society, it is a state that you cannot tour around with easily. And because of that, crime too is on the high side because of so much business activities that are going on. But on the general note, the police, in collaboration with other security agencies, particularly with the assumption of the new governor of the state, who has contributed in no small measure to make sure that crime is brought to the barest minimum, we have been able to achieve a great deal of security in the state.
Let's go straight into election matters. The exercise is already around the corner, and Nigerians have been expressing concerns about crime control and security during and after the elections. And I read through your resume, you're quite an expert in terms of election management. How is this command preparing for that big exercise?
Well, the command is ever prepared, and our burden is even reduced because, as you may know, we are now going to have a gubernatorial elections, which is ordinarily more keenly contested, and which covers the entire state. As much as the presidential election covers the entire state, it's less controversial if you compare it to that of governorship. And we are equally going to have senatorial elections and House of Representatives and House of Assembly. But on the general note, the command is very much prepared to combat whatever activities that may come up as a result of the forthcoming general election.
Tell us about this preparation in terms of your workforce. Have you been equipping them with necessary skills for this particular task, and have you been meeting with stakeholders?
Talking about meeting with stakeholders, the command had meeting with all the security agencies in the state, their commanders, and the party officials and the aspirants, where we went into a discussion to enlighten them the need for them to play the game according to its rule. And the seminar was quite interesting. Interesting in the sense that the aim was eventually achieved at the end of the day, because the aim was to provoke the people to speak out their minds, where their fears lies and what they were expecting. And we were able to address most of the issues that came up.
Like you pointed out, there are some areas in Anambra State that are prone to crisis when it comes to election. So in terms of your workforce, are you beefing up? Do you have plans to deploy more troops to some of these areas that are flashpoint?
Definitely, we don't want to leave anything to chances. But just like you have said, there are some places that deserve more manpower than others, and we have taken adequate care of that.
Okay, let's look at crime control in Anambra State. So how would you compare crime in Anambra State from 2014 and 2013. I know you assumed office around September, but how would you rate the trend of crime in Anambra State?
Precisely, I assumed duty here on the 10th of September 2014. The log I had is before I assumed duty here, my predecessor had prepared a very solid foundation on crime control. And when I assumed duty, I only built on it. And we succeeded very, very, very well. We had one operation that was ongoing, Operation Ochoko. That one was a joint operation between the military and the police. Then, shortly before the Xmas period, we launched another operation, which was basically police outfit, Operation Shaba. The essence of Operation Shaba was that we took that from the Bible, which Queen Shaba was preaching, talking about how good, how safe his country was. And when people came around, they saw that what the Queen was saying was even less than what they were saying. So we were assuring good people of Anambra State as of that time that they should come home for the Xmas and the New Year festivity because security is guaranteed. You know, in the past, people hardly come to Anambra State during such periods of the fear of being kidnapped or fear of robbery and the rest of them. And for the first time in the history of this state, the civilians themselves, the prominent Anambra people and the poor in the society all attested to the fact that for the first time they celebrated Xmas and the New Year without any problem, without any incident of kidnapping, without any serious incident of robbery. And the only attempt, some disgruntled criminals attempted to come in to kidnap somebody in nature. They made their water law as we followed them, and eventually they paid the sacrum price.
There's this policy of the state government that entails destruction of property acquired through kidnapping or property being used for kidnapping. How effective has that been in the fight against kidnapping in Anambra State?
Honestly, that had yielded so much result. Yielded so much result in the sense that, you know, in the past, people think you can go indulge into criminality in order to make money, to invest, and think, and so that people think you are doing a decent business. But since the state government adopted that policy as a law in the state, that if you allow your house to be used for kidnapping, either you allow your house for a victim of kidnap to be kept there, or you kidnap somebody and collect ransom and go and build a house. Once it is dictated, the house will be pulled down. And so many houses have gone for that. And that has made the people realize that it does not pay for you to connive, conspire, or collaborate with a kidnapper. And if you are a kidnapper yourself, if you take the money and say you will invest, you will be traced, and the proceeds or whatever you have done with that money will be destroyed. And it makes the people realize that it doesn't pay at the end of the day.
What about ritual killings in Anambra State?
No, I think since I assumed duty here, ritual killing has not been so pronounced. What was rather more common was issue of child stealing.
Okay.
Young babies. Maybe when a woman delivers, some people will come, play around and steal the baby away. We were able to break that syndicate. There were 3 syndicates and we were able to break them, and since then we have never recorded such incidents again.
That's quite impressive. Let's look at national security. Recent incidents in many parts of the Northeast have actually cast doubt on the people's perception of Nigeria's security agencies, the police inclusive. Many have come to say that probably the security agencies have failed to defend the territorial integrity of this country or even protect ordinary man in Nigeria. So would you say we are winning the war against terrorism?
You see, this matter had been overflogged again and again. As much as I said it is a military operation ongoing there, the police are equally part of it. And I'm assuring you that the security agencies are doing their best under the circumstances which we find ourselves.
The police and other agencies, they have always complained of lack of equipment. So in that regard, what should we do as a country to combat?
No, I think that is a policy decisions, and I'm sure the appropriate authorities are addressing it.
Do you think we have adequate laws to tackle terrorism in this country?
Of course, there are enough laws.
Let me take you to crime again. As a veteran police officer who has traversed the length and breadth of this country, what do you think is responsible for people committing crime? Why do people go into crime?
Basically, I can say it, criminals are greedy people. Poverty ordinarily will not drive somebody into criminality. It's greed. You want to acquire what you have not attained. You want to take somebody's property, a property that is not yours. You want to attain a standard that you have not worked for. So basically, most crimes are driven by greed. Very few are actually circumstantial.
Okay, so what should be the role of the family and the society in curtailing crime?
For the family first, you see, we need to bring back our family values, our core values of hard work, sincerity, integrity. People should not worship people who overnight acquire wealth that they cannot explain. People should not celebrate people who have not done anything overnight. They come with plenty wealth that they should not explain. Until the society realizes that and begin to pay people according to their labor, we will continue to have this kind of problem.
As a commissioner of police, sir, what are your expectations from the citizens? What should the citizens do, or what shouldn't they do to enhance the job of policing the nation?
For the citizens, just like I've always said, in Anambra here, let me use Anambra as a case study. We call on the good people of the state before the Christmas celebration and the New Year that please they should cooperate with the security agencies. We are here to serve them, we are here to protect their lives and property, and that if they find any strange person, strange movement within their midst, they should not hesitate to report to the security agencies. There are so many ways you can communicate. You can send text, you can even write an anonymous letter and drop. So the idea of saying, oh, no, the security agencies are not trustworthy. If you pass information, they will tell the criminal who passed the information does not obtain. We have enough means of passing information these days. So from the members of the society, I will urge them to continue to cooperate with the members of the security agencies, because it is only when they cooperate, as you all know, security is everybody's business. If you and your wife and your children and maybe mates are in the house, crime is taking place there. If you don't come out to tell people outside, nobody will know. In my office here, as we are here now, if something wrong is going on here, if we don't tell somebody who is outside, he won't know. So also does it go in a society. So we need cooperation of everybody. If you see anything that is wrong, if you see anything that is criminal, if you see any normal movement, suspicious movement, pass information.
What would you describe as your major achievement since you assumed office here?
First and foremost, Anambra State was known for commercial kidnapping. What I mean commercial kidnapping is kidnap for ransom. We have been able to catch those kidnappers to the extent that even the last seats that came into the state to attempt all came from outside the state. So we have been able to checkmate kidnapping in this state. This ugly trend of stealing newly born babies, we have paraded about 3 states that were indulged in that, and since then, after the last parade, we have never recorded another incident. Equally too, there was this group that specialized in robbing banks. Not a large scale, of course. They go to ATM, especially on weekends. They will just go to the ATM, break into the ATM, sometimes with the connivance with bank officials. The bank official will tell them this particular ATM has been loaded with enough money, or they will load enough money, and the people will go in and break into it. They did it about 3 banks. Then the last bank, they made their waterlord, Fidelity Bank. Their leader, who used to be a robber in churches, which his members were earlier arrested, escaped from the state and was operating from outside. The last time he came in to rob in Fidelity Bank, he made his waterlord. Even though we lost 1 sergeant, but their leader was gunned down in the shootout that ensued, and their arms were recovered.
Have they been charged to court?
I told you the leader was shot dead in the shootout. We lost 1 sergeant in the process too. And then the other members of the gang were arrested and were charged to court. case is still pending in court.
That's quite impressive of the command. Let's go back to the electoral process as we round off. What is your message to the public?
My message to Nigerians is that please, this country belongs to every one of us. We have no any other country but Nigeria. And we have a responsibility to making sure that the country remains united and making sure that the country remains peaceful. We have seen what is happening in our neighboring countries where crises are erupted. Once crisis erupts, nobody is isolated. So let us do everything in our individual efforts and collective efforts to make sure that peace reigns supreme. The election will always come and go. Nigeria will remain. It's not the first election we're having. It is not going to be the last election. So everybody, particularly the politicians, should play the game according to its rule. And for we, the electorates, let us make sure nobody allows himself to be used. For those that are jobless, for those who are misguided and want to be used as thugs, I keep on warning. Thuggery does not pay. If anybody wants to procure you as a thug, tell the person, be our leader. Your wife can assist you. Then your children should follow. We will be at the rear. With that, you can be safer at the rear. But if you allow yourself, for whatever reason, for a chicken fee, at the end, you will be abandoned by whoever asks you. So let us all strive to make sure this country remains united and safe, so that we produce a government we can say, yes, this is truly our government.
CP, before you go, I want you to look into the camera and assure the people of Anambra State that the police is here to serve them, and even in this electoral period, you're going to be for everybody.
Of course, the police have always been for the members of the public. We are Nigerian police force. We are not even just Anambra police force. We are here to serve the people, and we are here to serve all and sundry. So I'm calling on good people of Anambra State that please, everybody should come out and participate in this election, because this is the determination of our future. This is the determination of our children yet unborn. So everybody should come out and play the game according to its rule. Nobody should allow himself to be pushed into criminality. If you are offended, if you disagree, there are appropriate laws that can take care of every situation.
Thank you very much, sir, for sharing this much with crime fighters, the police, and you. Thank you very much for coming around.
I want to sincerely thank all of us that have come here. Our coming here today may appear as if it's a waste of time, but I can rest assure you, by the time we are actually in the field, we will better appreciate the importance of why we are here.
I want to also appeal to us that we in the prisons, particularly the staff that are coming out to ensure a free and fair elections, we are pledged and we are sworn to neutrality. We will try as much as possible to ensure that these elections are free and fair. If there is any of our staff who compromises, we are free to report such a person, such an officer, to the control of prisons.
If the reason for politicking, the reason for looking for the people's vote is for you to lead them and give them a better life, then it will be contradictory if that same person seeking to lead is the one fueling violence, destroying the community and the state. So it is in the interest of everybody that will play politics without intervention. If the people want you, they will vote for you, because they know you will serve them.
I believe all of us here know the role the NYSC plays during elections. Our main concern during elections is the safety of our corps members. Most times, the politicians want to induce our corps members in different ways. We have told them, don't allow yourselves to be induced. Don't get into partisan politics. They are there as umpires. They are there because we want the elections to be fair. They are not politicians. They are just there to make everybody happy. So my appeal this morning is for the politicians to please leave our corps members alone.
We sought the opinion of Anambra citizens on how the elections can be conducted in a peaceful and secure atmosphere.
It is important people are educated about the do's and don'ts during election period. Many people operate basically on ignorance, based on do things they do, claiming ignorance of the law. So it's important candidates should be educated and they should in turn go and educate their party men and followers. It is important they know their roles they need to play during the election period. For the fact that you are an agent or a candidate doesn't necessarily mean you have to do things to undermine the laws of the land. We must owe our allegiance first of all to Nigeria, laws of Nigeria, and respect the Electoral Act and procedure.
Like in other parts of the country, the police in Anambra State remain committed to fighting crime and criminality. We spoke with suspects apprehended by operators.
Why am I here is that we murder one SAS man calling Ogema.
Tell us what happened.
Look at what happened. There is a day, there's one place we call Scrap in Oshanja. So we are there, we are four. Me, Yusube, and Onyagwanam, and Nosombe, and Ifeshuku. So I am the one who ride the bike. I carry Nosombe on the back. So we trace Ogema in the time when is the CPS. Immediately we saw him, we entered in vehicle, so we moving, we are following him. I don't know whether he's going to a workshop to repair his motor. I don't know where he's going. Don't attack him before somebody shot him.
Why were you after him? What did he do to you?
He doesn't do anything to me. It's somebody's complaint that he's chasing him because every time I there for that club where they smoke Indian hemp, and many guys come there, many guys food there. So that's the place I know. So then also tell me that I will carry him from machine to do business, that he will give me some money.
So did not tell you the particular thing that the officer did to him, that he wants to kill him?
Yeah, he does not tell me. He tell me that Ogema is chasing him. He wants to kill him because he doesn't want him to stay in Anambra State.
Okay, which of your operations has Ogema stopped you from operating? Which of your operations has Ogema disturbed your gang?
Ogema, they haven't disturbed our gang because me and somewhere from that club where I know him.
Where is Noso?
I don't know about Noso again because after that day, fear there onto my body. Now I say no, I won't follow Noso again. Now I cut any relationship about Noso and his gang. And then use my machine to run Okada because I live in the
Crime Fighters, the #1 security program